En ons gesels oor die impak wat sosiale media op jou besigheid kan hê indien jy dit effektief gebruik. So saam met ons, Leanne Rhodes, hoof kreatief en sosiale media, Nasionale Kamer vir Klein Sake. Big welcome.
Oh, thank you so much.
And all the way from Potchefstroom.
Yeah,
on the
it's
back
my
of a
little
truck.
secret.
It's your little secret. So exactly, just explain what is your job and how would someone learn how to do it?
All right. So as you said, I'm from the NSBC, formerly known like the National Small Business Chamber. And as the head of creative and social media, I'm responsible for pretty much the branding, the identity, the websites, all the digital communication. What you see is pretty much what I'm responsible for. And when I started, being a graphic designer by trade, that was my main role, was the identity. But we soon realized that the way we're communicating and the way we communicate visually is changing so much that soon after I joined, we realized social media is something we need to look at. And I've grown in the last 5 years, massively in that position. And it has had a huge influence on how we speak to small businesses, how we communicate with them, our events, our initiatives. Because at the NSBC, we work closely with small business. We want them to succeed. We want them to grow. We want our economy boosted. We want jobs created. And social media has been the perfect medium for us to get that message across and to connect with small businesses in South Africa. So that's pretty much what I do. How you would learn to do it, I mean, I have a background in obviously graphic design, information design, marketing, so that has been really handy because we can create the content and the graphics ourselves. A lot of small businesses don't always have that. But when it comes to social media, everything we've learned has been through practical experience. It's been through trying and testing and seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, but also using what's out there. There is so much out there for free that you can use to improve your social media, from podcasts to articles to seminars. I mean, it's a digital world and you've got to take advantage of that. So
If one takes social media, I mean, it's almost like the norm of the day. Every business now starts employing it. And you just mentioned that it's a free platform. What's your opinion regarding that the fact that social media is for free?
Well, on the onset, it does seem free, doesn't it? I mean, you don't have to pay to create a profile on Facebook and you don't have to pay for most things. But I've realized over the years that social media is only free if you don't value your time, and especially small business owners. I mean, especially when a business is just starting out. I mean, that business owner is probably the jack of all trades. He's doing everything from the sales to the reception to the account. You know, as you grow, you start employing people. But and social media has this way of stealing your time without you even realizing it. I mean, 1 minute you're doing a post, next minute it's 3 hours later and the morning's gone and you don't know where it went. So I would say your time is really valuable, which makes it not free. So as a small business owner, just think about your hourly rates and how many hours you are using on social media and make those hours a bit more focused because it's not completely free. Also, what we've seen is over the last few years, from when we started on Facebook to now, being seen by all your followers is becoming more and more and more difficult. So what they call organic posts, so basically the posts that you put up and your followers see, a lot of small businesses don't realize that when you put a post, not all your followers are going to see that post. And that's because of the algorithms that a lot of the networks are putting in now so that the users don't get overwhelmed with all the posts. So what small businesses need to do now is 100% consider a budget and paying to be seen. So it's because it's so powerful, because so many people are on social media, it's really important that, well, obviously those companies are they're going to use that to create, money. I mean, they've got to generate an income. And to be seen, small businesses need to start using a budget and need to start paying.
Even like in December, I did something on Facebook and I wanted it, to market it. And there was like this option. It cost me 140 Rand.
Yes.
And they promoted this thing for 12 or 14 days. So that it jumped from, let's say, 70 people saw this post to over 8,000.
Yes.
And they keep you updated. And that was for 140 Rand.
It is so affordable.
So it is affordable.
Very,
and
very
even if you're a
affordable.
business.
Absolutely. I mean, that was a perfect example. I was helping a friend. She makes cakes, for instance. She asked me, please help me out. What can I do? And her organic normal post reached 1,000 people and got 4 likes from a few friends, and I knew all those people that liked it because they were my friends.
Yeah.
And then we put 140 Rand, like you said, we boosted that exact same post. The reach changed to 7,000 people and she got 10 new leads from that. For 140 Rand. So when we say it isn't free, it is still incredibly affordable. And what's so wonderful about it is you can select exactly who sees that post, from age to geographic location to interests even you can select. So it's not like putting an ad out there and everyone sees it.
It's still just floating. It goes to someone,
Very, very specific. And you've seen the monitoring. I mean, you can see how many people have seen it, how many have clicked on it. So it is so worth doing. I would recommend small businesses really explore that.
So you think businesses, can they afford not to be on social media? They're going to fade.
The short answer is no. No. I really thought about this because not all small businesses or businesses seem to suit, say, Facebook or Instagram. I mean, if you're in the manufacturing and your work isn't really pretty, what are you really going to do there? So when I say small businesses, or social media, we're not always talking Facebook. But I've heard a quote recently that really stuck with me, and it was quite an old quote. It came out before social media came out, and it basically said, running a business without advertising is like winking at a girl in the dark. You know what you're doing, but nobody else does.
That is a goeie point, yes. I'm going to stop you there. We want to chat some statistics next.
Great.
As jy net ingeskakel het, ons gesels oor die impak wat sosiale media op jou besigheid kan hê, as jy effektief wil gebruik. In die ateljee, Leanne Rhodes, wat aan die stuur is van die kreatiewe en sosiale media departement by NSBC. Leanne, we spoke about exactly what social media is in for small businesses and what you do, but let's talk that's a big word, statistics. It's always Afrikaans statistics. What percentage of people in SA are actively using which platforms?
All right, so the stats I found are by Worldwide Works, and what's great is they do stats every year, and they actually release a report. And this is obviously the 2016 stats. They were working on the 2017 ones at the moment, but from the 2016 stats, it's quite amazing to think that 1/4 of South Africa's population is on Facebook. 1/4. So that's over 13 million people are on Facebook. And what we've seen is that in the last year, Facebook has grown by 1 million people in terms of users. So that's one of the most powerful platforms we have in South Africa. And obviously in the world, Facebook is still one of the dominant, or is the dominant one in terms of social media. What's great about it is it means that because it's such a big audience, if you're on Facebook as a business, you've got access to a really huge audience, and not just a South African audience, a global audience. And that also means because of that size, they've got quite sophisticated tools for business. The business pages, the boosting, the ads, they've really, really thought about business. And then we look at Twitter. Twitter increased by 12% from 2015 to 2016. It's up to 7.4 million. And I think what has happened in the last 2 years is South Africans are really using Twitter in terms of its instant quality. So it's very newsworthy. I think I check Twitter and the news stations just to see what's happening. We saw it's also even mobilizing our nation, mobilizing our youth. So people are starting to use it for more than just tweeting random things. It's really powerful. YouTube's gone up 15% to over 8 million users. And I think the 15% rise in the last year is largely due to our internet and the speed of our internet improving and our technology improving in our country. And then the biggest shock of all in terms of the stats is Instagram. It's gone up I think between 2014 and 2015, it went up 65% in terms of usage. And in between 2015 and 2016, it's gone up 133%. to 2.68 million
Sure.
users. So there's a definite trend that small businesses and businesses must look at there. And I think that's largely due, most of the users of Instagram tend to be below 35 and under at this point. And I think it's because most of their parents are now on Facebook. So they're finding a new platform.
A new platform.
New platform
And it's still, for me, Instagram for me is still not user-friendly.
It's very foreign.
It's still very foreign to me, although I start using it
at the NSBC, we only started using Instagram the end of last year for that very reason, but the engagement is a lot higher than Facebook.
Yes.
You're getting way more comments with way less followers.
Facebook is still about the dark. We're going to chat further a little more, about whatever. Ons gaan 'n bietjie later nog praat.
I'll say.
Because I've got some questions about the mobile, devices as well. Ons gesels nog steeds met Leanne Rhodes en sy's hoof kreatief en sosiale media vir die Nasionale Kamer vir Klein Sake. So we spoke about social media and your presence on social media, but percentage of use via mobile devices, because everything's going mobile. They say even everything's going to happen on your mobile.
Absolutely. What the stats I found are that 77% of social media users are using it via mobile. 77, that's 3/4.
Sure.
So a lot of the time, as small businesses will be on their computers. But remember, check what everything looks like on mobile. I mean, mobile is huge. We've seen the stats also indicate that in the last year, all top free downloads on the Windows Store, iTunes, and on the Play Store have been social media apps. From WhatsApp taking the lead, and then Facebook Messenger and Instagram. So those are the ones that are dominating the downloads, which shows what people are using their mobile devices for.
And it's actually, like you said now, if you take Facebook, it's, on a mobile, it's all apps. It's concise, it's small, it's easy to use. You think, how's it going to affect, small businesses if you don't keep up?
Oh, if you don't keep up, I'll use a quick analogy. Back in the day, before telephones were created, business as usual, face-to-face, lots of paperwork. Imagine during that time, as a business, you didn't adapt and you didn't get a telephone. How much business would you lose? And I think what's happening, especially with the trend towards mobile, is that if you as a business are behind, this is how people communicate. This is the new way people communicate for your business. You're going to lose a lot of potential clients and customers because you are not there, because they can't find you, because they can't see you, and they can't communicate with you. So that is very important as a business to adapt to this, even if it scares you. You've got to go.
Got to go. Practical tips on how to effectively manage your social media presence.
All right, and this is definitely from my personal experience, and with businesses in mind. The first thing is to clarify how much time you are willing to spend a week. You have to decide to do it, because small businesses forget to promote themselves. They're so busy doing business, they forget to do it for themselves. And you've got to continuously keep these things updated. So dedicate a certain amount of time. Clarify what you want out of it. Obviously, businesses want sales, but social media is so much more than sales. It's about creating a loyal following. It's about creating a loyal community. It's about enriching the lives of your followers, giving them value. So sales will come, but it's also about communication. So really, really, businesses must keep that in mind. You can't just post ads. It's not a one-way communication, and people will run screaming from you if all you do is say, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this. Another analogy I use is social media is social. It's in the name. So imagine you at a restaurant and you are having a dinner with your friends and your family, and someone keeps coming up to the table, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this. What are you going to do? I mean, I'd probably tell them to
to bug off.
That's the nice way to say it.
Yeah, it's a nice way to say it.
Yeah, and so social media is similar to that. It's a lot more subtle. You can sell as a business on it, but remember, please do not hard sell. It's about creating relationships, building relationships, and through that, you will succeed. The big word is engagement. So it's not about the followers anymore. You can have 200 followers and be more successful than a page that has 20,000 followers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's really about quality versus quantity. So rather post less, but post things that are valuable, post things that are entertaining, post things that catch people's attention. You've got less than 3 seconds to catch people's attention when they're scrolling. And they say that's the new battlefield of today is the news feed.
That news feed,
That
yes.
news feed. You've got 3 seconds. So when you make a post, think to yourself, if I wasn't making this post, would it catch my attention? Would I read it?
That
So
is
in other
probably
words,
the best advice for this morning.
think like a fan.
Yeah.
What do they want to see?
In 3 seconds. Henry, it took 30 minutes to get my attention. Thank you so much. Leanne, I've learned a lot. We'll definitely have you back. I think we
Great.
can learn a lot from you. So thank you for all the advice.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
And
It's
safe
absolutely
travels
a pleasure.
via the trucks.
Yeah, it might take a while.
Take a while.